Hey YouTube, welcome back to Eudemons Online. Today we will be showing you how to move EPs from one account to another. This is specifically between the servers, so I mean if you're going to move EPs between your accounts on the same server, just hit trade. So here we have Hiken. You can't actually see, what I'll have to do is I'll have to move this here, won't I? So let's move my camera. See, I didn't really plan this through, did I? Right, so if we move my camera, here we go. So you can see the EPs I have on Hiken, and this is here on Little Big Senpai. So that's the two accounts. You can see I've got 124k on Hiken and 178k on Little Big Senpai. So yeah, we do have a lot of EPs to move over. I'm just going to double check that you can see all the cross-server trade stuff. So yeah, the screen, like nothing on my screen. I mean, I can just disable the camera if it gets in the way. So as you can see, you can all see it. Cool. So firstly, going over sort of the whole transferring EPs, this is totally fine. Like I've spoken to TQ multiple times regarding it. Moving EPs through through the servers is an okay thing. Like it is a feature within the game, and it's not bannable in any way. So if there are people that sort of tell you, oh, you can't be doing that, that is a lie. You can. There is no sort of, no one says anything about it. It's totally fine. So like that whole stigma around it being not okay is false. Today we're going to move over 178k. I want to move it all over to Hiken. So this is going to be quite a long video. Well, I say quite a long one. It'll take as long as it needs to take. Let's just accept friends requests, because why not? Right. Sure. So, to move EPs, you need, let's go to Hiken, these. Magic Fire Crystals, the more you have, the better. I have 162 personally. If I could get more, I would. The way to get more is actually to do it through here. So you come into Magic Fire Crystal and people will be selling them. So they are up for sale. I just don't really want to be buying a lot more. There's no need to. So, now, I want to move. So this account needs to gain the EPs, and this account needs to lose the EPs. So make sure that you're fully aware of the account you're moving EPs from, because this is where it can get a little confusing, and you don't want to be in that rut. So, when you first do it, you'll need at least one Magic Fire Crystal. If you're going to be moving a ton of EPs, I recommend having a lot more, and you're going to see why now. So if we're going to trade, we're going to put the Magic Fire Crystal in the trade section, and I'm going to charge my other account. So Little Big Senpai is going to be charged 50 EPs, which is the maximum. You can't go above that per crystal. So you hit register, you send. You can see that I'm going to be able to sell this for 8,000 EPs. So once I put that live, you'll switch back to your other account, which is Little Big Senpai. Go to the last page. So you can see that people sell them for all sorts of different prices. You've put it personally up for 50. So you're going to come to here, you're going to find Little Big Senpai. Now, there is no name, so you need to be careful about it. 162, I know that that's me. Right? I click, I'm done. Boom. So now I have the crystals. So we've moved over some of the EPs. You can see, look, he's gained 8k EPs. Now you're going to say, well, how do I move over the rest? Again, we go back into the trade. This time we're going to sell it for 5 or 4. Like we could get away with 4. So we'll put it up for 4 EPs. This time we're sending back 600. So again, we go here, we go here. That's me. Click buy. Now, if the buy now price is 4, then you do not want to put it. So put it on 5, put it on 6, whatever you need to. I mean, personally, a lot of people say just do it above so no one buys your stuff. I've been quite lucky because you're here buying it actively. In most cases, it's not the worst. This is the hardest bit where you got to just flick through the pages. Just try to get through it as quickly as possible so you can get to your thing. One guy was like, oh man, I lost EPs because, you know, someone bought my crystals. Well, if someone bought your crystals at 50 EPs, right, you've actually made EPs. Like, you've just made 8k. Like, go buy another billion of them. Like, that's cool. So you haven't lost EPs, like, and that's fine. So we've done that. Now we come here, put this back up for 4 EPs. Done. Coming back, buy it for 4 EPs. So we're going to be doing this back and forward. We're going to be buying... I mean, how much is this one? How much would this come to? Oh, crud. I ended up buying all of it. Oops. So, yeah, it doesn't give you a warning, does it? How much EPs did I just lose? Let's see. This is gonna make this video even quicker. You know that's just gonna happen now. We bought 317 times 5. Oops. So we just... Actually, to be fair, we only spent 1,500 EPs. And this is going to, like, speed up the process ridiculously now. So it's not the worst thing in the world. That's my bad entirely. But yeah, let's put them up 50. That's fine. I'll probably resell these gems, so you're all good if anyone needs to buy them. Like, you can just come and take them off me. Crossover trade. Here. Last page. We're going to be moving on a ton of EPs in one go now. This is going to really speed up the video though, so great news, guys. Here we are, that's me. Buy. Man, there is no chill on that, is there? That's steep. Cool. Put that up. We're going to say 5 EPs each. That's 2,000 EPs. Come here, buy. Where is it? It'll be on the last page of the 5s. There we are. Boom. It's mine. Do that. 50. Register. Send. Trade. That. I don't know whose crystals I bought. I'm sorry, whoever's crystals I bought. My bad. Chances are they were actually just for sale. So look at that. We're actually moving over a silly amount at a time now, which is great. Great for us. I'll put them off for 4. Oops. And quickly tab into Hicken. Buy that for 4. And done. Yeah, I know. So I wasn't meant to buy all those crystals. That's fine. You know what? This is just going to make it that little bit quicker, isn't it? So it's all good. So again, you just go into register. It is a really monotonous task. And honestly... you get pretty used to it pretty quickly. So here we are. Just go to the last page. So as you can see, moving EPs is super easy. Like, we've already moved over a fair chunk, and normally I put myself on autopilot when I'm doing this. So I'm normally quite good at just putting myself on autopilot and moving over a chunk of EPs. Like, that's all good. When I'm not shooting a video, like, I can get this done very quickly. Because we're filming right now, at the moment, it's a little bit slower, and I'm trying to explain every step so that people don't sort of question me. Oops. Go back. Magic Fire Crystal. And, you know, if someone buys my 400 crystals at 50 EPs, it's all, you know, whatever. So people are going to ask me, so, hey Ken, where do I get these Magic Fire Crystals? For those of you who don't know, Thunder. Honestly, running Thunder. Running, I don't know if the previous two, I can't remember if Ghost gives it, but Thunder. Thunder's the way to do it. You actually unlock skins from here, and we can have... I might do one skin run just because. Just because we might do one skin run, and that could be fun. Wait, we're selling it back now, yeah? So yeah, this is the one thing you don't... you don't want to get confused in what you're actually doing. So, I've had days where I'm moving EPs over, and I get confused which account I'm on. So I'll start selling it back to the other account. So all of a sudden, when I'm moving EPs that way, I start moving EPs that way again. And it just takes that much longer. So you need to just remain focused the whole time. Remember which account you're trying to move the EPs to. And if you don't have the amount of shards I do, which I don't think most people will, mostly because I'm crazy and I've just bought a ton of shards for some reason. Yeah, this task can take... Like, I remember moving over my first... I think it was 100k EPs, right? But I only had, I think it was 20 shards. So I was moving over like 800 EPs a pop. And I did that for 100k. I later was like, dude, this is taking the mick. Like, let's just get more shards. So that's why I have the 100 plus shards. But yeah, the hilarity is that I screwed up there. So yeah, you just, if you have a large sum like I do, then it's just going to be that much quicker, isn't it? That one... Here, it's 50, isn't it? I'm going to get to a point where we're thinking, Right, let's do this. Buy. Boom. I think we've got one more in us until we've sort of hit what we want to hit. Boom. That one. That one. Then do that there. 23k EPs is what we're going to move over. Should be. Now, I think the best way to do this, I'll show you what to do now. So we've done that. Bang. Right, now you're going to think to yourself, well, hey Ken, what are you going to do with the remaining shards? Because there's no way that all these shards are going to amount to anything, right? So I'm going to firstly send them all back. Come on to Hiken and buy them all. So there we go. So I've got all the shards here, 290k, but I still have 9k EPs on this side. So what I want to do is I'm going to put them all back up on sale again for 50 EPs. Okay. Trade. There you go. We're going to go to the last page and we're going to buy them all. We're going to buy as much as we can so that way we've sent over the maximum amount. And this is where it gets a little tedious. So we've bought it. If you come back here, you remove all this. So this is what's remaining. Cool. Cool. So if we now come back here, we're going to put whatever remaining we have for 4 EPs. So we're going to get another 70 EPs for this, 700 EPs for this. That's still a lot. This is the problem with trading with a lot now. So we're going to do that. Boom. So now I've got 777 EPs. If this is a dud account, you're going to throw this account away. In my case, I'm not. But let's say you were going to throw this account away. You would continue doing this. So, for example, I've got that. So if we come here. Wait, we should have all 400 now, yeah? Cool. So if we come over here, we need to generate 700 EPs worth of trade. So how much is that going to... Well, we could just max it at 50, couldn't we? So we could just put it all up at 50, come back here. And we're gonna just... I don't know if I want to fully min-max this, because I do want like at least a little bit of EPs on Little Big Senpai at the moment. You know, this is still an account I actively play. I will buy all this and just show you guys. So I got 15 now. So cancel all that. Keep this on this side. So we've got that. And now we list it again. So we want to. So there's two things. We want to try and save our crystals. So ideally, we want to only lose 1 crystal by the end of this, whilst also. Wait, where are we? Someone else is doing it. So we want to only lose 1 crystal by the end of it. So you can see we've got this. Now, theoretically, I could put up 2 crystals, get that, and then be done with it and just lose 2 crystals. I'm going to leave the 87 EPs on Little Big Senpai because he's actually got some EPs coming in through here, which is great. I still play on this account, so we're not going to fully min-max this, but you can see the process of min-maxing it and just sending crystals over and over. So we're done here. Little Big Senpai now has 87 EPs, which is terrible. This is probably the poorest he's been, but we got PKT, so he should be winning 2 God Eudemons stones, a moon box, so he'll be up to like 1k plus, 2k plus, like by the end of the day. So it's not a big problem. Like we're gonna make at least 2k EPs today. That's normally how PKT works for us. So we're quite lucky in that. Being rank 1 is sort of, that's a big bonus to being rank 1. Let's just make sure we've got all the crystals. So we have 479. Just gonna chuck that back in the bank. You never know when we need that. We are on 301k EPs. In fact, we're actually on more. So I've got animas on here that I don't need. Like the animas on Hiken are moving. So when Little Big Senpai moves over, I will be sharing animas on both. So if I'm playing on Hiken, I'll move the animas there. If I'm playing on Little Big, I'll move the animas. So I don't need a second set of animas. So I have another 20k worth of animas just sitting on him for the time being, just so he can compete in the PK tournaments and win me some XP balls and stuff on this side. So I actually have 320k EPs, which is exactly enough for my order. I have ordered 920 shards, as some of you guys do know. Like, so I've got enough to pay for that now. That's 1,300 stacks. So that's 13,000 composers. So Yeah, I know a lot of people are asking, hey, Ken, can you totally film that? I want to see you compose 13,000 composers in one sit down. Yeah, that's not happening, guys. Like, there's no way you're watching me compose 13,000 without me losing my mind. So that will be done slowly. So we're going to be doing a very slow compose on that. It's going to take a month. Like, in reality, I have great friends, and you know, I can source about 700 to 800 XP balls a week, approximately. And did it like 700-800 a week compared to the 13,000 is huge. Like it's not even gonna break it. The stacks won't come for another 2 to 3 weeks anyway. So I've got like 2 weeks of saving to do. I'm hoping I can save about 2,000 XP balls roughly in that time. I have about 500-600 on me already, so that's about 2,500. I've had people offer me XP balls, so a friend of mine's gonna help me out and give me another 2,000 most likely. So in reality, I'm gonna be able to compose half of those stacks, approximately a third to half of those stacks, the minute the stacks come in, and then the rest I need to wait. Eudemons have just announced that there is a sale coming mid-May, and I'm hoping it's an XP Ball sale. I am looking at trying to get some EPs for then, probably around the 50 to 60k mark. That should, like, assuming they do 10 EPs per XP Ball like they did in this sale, I should be able to buy the remaining sort of 7,000 XP Balls I need, which is actually a lot of EPs. But yeah, get that done, start composing, hopefully by the end of May. I say the end of, yeah, I think by the end of May, we'll have Wukong up to 950 stars. 920 to 950. I mean, depending on how things go with, you know, like the global situation, if we can get more EPs in, sort of, like, I think in a realistic world, I want to have about 300,000 EPs on top of this. So this is already gone. Like, I don't see this as EPs anymore. Like, this has a guy that it's going to. If I can source another 300k, which is hard because of how work is right now. So if work fixes itself and, you know, we can all go back to work and etc., then I could probably get another 300k in, which I'm hoping to spend 100k on XP balls approximately. I'd say between 70 to 100k on XP balls and about 200k on 31.5 star universals, which would actually grant me. So Eudemons sell it at 100 EPs each. Players sell it for about 80 EPs each. I'll put it this way: if players selling it for 100 EPs, it's not worth buying it because you could just buy it from TQ anyway. So like you're gonna get a better price from players. So if players have it, buy it from them. Otherwise, TQ sells at 100 EPs each. If I have 200k EPs, that's 2,000 universals. It is only 60 stars when you calculate it, so it's like the most expensive way of composing ever, because you're gonna spend 200,000 EPs on 2,000 universals, which is gonna get you only 60 stars. So if you're a person that's trying to get your stars up, this is the worst way to compose. But 2,031.5 stars is gonna get you minimum 2,000 attack. I don't know if Grindel's around in the chat, but if he is, he can like confirm. I think it works out to about 1. Each compose about 1 M attack, and it's about 1.2 to 1.3 P attack. I don't know the exact figures. I'm literally throwing them out like top of my head. But the figures are approximately there. So I mean, if Grindel's around, he's like the master of that. He'll be able to like confirm the numbers. But yeah, like that's the plan. And I think now, so you guys may have seen my video, the My Story video. So I talk about how back in September when I started the game, I kind of set myself the goal of I'm going to get a 100-star pet because I was like, yeah, you know, I'm back in Eudemons Online after what, 7 years. I was a kid last time I played it. I'm now an adult and can afford to get a 100-star pet. Came back and I realized, whoa, everyone's got a 100-star pet. What is this? This is a terrible goal. So I set myself a more unrealistic goal because, you know, you need to have almost unachievable goals, but make them achievable. So I set myself the goal of 1,000 stars, and by the end of May, there's a very good chance that I get to 1,000 stars. Well, I'm calculating 920 stars or to 930 stars, but knowing me, I'm going to sort of, if I'm short 70 stars, I'm gonna just get the 70 stars, right? So realistically, I can almost count that as sort of goal completed for me. Like 1,000 stars has pretty much been achieved, hopefully by the end of May. You know, if all goes to plan, by the end of May, I'll have reached my goal of why I started this game. At least one of my goals. Like, when I moved to Elysium, I did say I'm going to aim for 2 1,000 star pets. I am definitely not rushing that. That's going to be way slower. Like, that's going to take a year to year and a half. Like, I have no interest in doing what I've done for this Wukong into the next pet. Like, there is no way I'm doing that. But I have set myself a new goal. So, my new goal is to reach 15,000 P attack on the Wukong. And once I achieve that, the next goal would then be 20,000 P attack. That would then come with however much M attack that has. So you're looking at probably in the 15 to 17k region, whatever it is. Like, I can't remember the exact stats for Wukong. In fact, Goxter's got my Wukong at the moment, so I can't show you that. Actually, I might be able to. Due to my inactivity on this server, as a lot of people know, I think Gox actually got Carpet Summer as well. So yeah, I could check, but yeah. So the plan is 15 to 16, like 15k, then to 20k, and then we'll see where it goes. Like, Wukong is the pet I want to work on. A lot of people know that, like, I've spoken about it before. Wukong isn't the best pet. Like, it's one of them like, especially for me. For me, Wukong is the best pet. Like, I only need a Ruby 200 star. Like, once Ruby is 200 star, you get the 40% buff. You don't need it for anything else. Like, you're literally getting the Ruby for the 40% buff. You can min-max the Ruby, but I don't need it for stars anymore. It's just raw strength for the Ruby. But the 40% buff goes onto my Wukong regardless. So, Wukong is a pet that I've always adored. It's a pet that I actually enjoy the appearance of. I love the skills. Like, I like the pet a lot. Even if they nerfed it to crap in the upcoming updates, or they said, oh, it's no longer the best pet, it's still a pet I'd want. Like, so for me, Wukong is always going to be there. And yeah, that's the plan. Hit 20k attack on Wukong, reach 1,000 stars, and then I'll probably start working on Ruby. I'll try and get Ruby to like 500 star. Right now it's 250. Try and get that to 500. Start pushing that. I probably won't do... I think I have to do some tests, because it'd be interesting to see if the stat gain goes lower as we go higher in the stats. So let's say we hit 20k and all of a sudden we're not getting one every, compose, we're getting half. If that's the case, then maybe it's better to then push my Ruby. So hit 20k on both, because if for the same amount of universals I'm going to gain more attack, it makes sense to kind of push both. We're going to do a lot of tests in the upcoming months, like come up until December. Like, we have no interest in quitting this game, simply put. We're going to be here for a while. We're going to try and min-max stuff. Me and Anders were talking. We were talking about how certain players might be playing the game wrong. Like, there is a whole stigma about how one way is the right way, and that's not always true. Like, there's no reason why you can't have one way doesn't have to be the right way. Maybe every single Necromancer is playing Necromancer wrong. Maybe every single warrior is playing warrior wrong. Every single Shadow Knight's doing it wrong. So one thing I found on my Shadow Knight that a lot of people, might not be doing, I put a lot of power into my clones, so the Dragon Guards. I'm trying to put my attack as high as I can, because that attack gets put into the Dragon Guards. I know a lot of Shadow Knights that do not use Dragon Guards at all, or think it as a defensive buff. It is a defensive buff, don't get me wrong. Like, this is a great tanking stance. Like, it gets you a big shield. It makes you, like, pretty much immune to most physical damage. It is a beautiful defensive buff, in fact. But people underestimate its attack utilities. Like, it is a solid attack skill as well. So, you have these out, and you have the skills put correctly, they can kill somebody. Like, these are disgusting. I have this out on Evil Abyss. I put these out on Evil Abyss on a bridge somewhere. Nobody's getting through. And the way I do it is, I actually do it from here. So, not servants. Star power. So, Defense Faith. That's the one. So, I've actually started putting more. And I will max this. I'm trying to figure out where I want to remove the points to get the last point. But at some point, I will max this. That's 18% of my attack that these guys are going to get. And I'm going to be doing videos where I'm testing this for the Shadow Knight. I'll be doing the same for Necros. Like, maybe every Necro's doing it wrong. Maybe your Soul Crack and your AoE isn't the right one. Maybe you should be putting more into your pets. Like, maybe all your stats should be going into your pets. Maybe they're the ones that can just one-shot kill everyone. And, your other stats are just more for CC. Maybe we can increase your damage that way. There's a lot of things people in the community don't want to test, and there's a lot of things that people in the community can't test. And I understand that, like, if you don't have the funds to test things or don't have the time to test things, that's fine. But to follow someone's set build is wrong as well. So the plan moving forward with the channel is we're going to be doing a lot of testing. I'm going to personally hit my goals, and if I find anything out, so if I see that I'm getting more out of, let's say, sort of the knights, I'm going to be like, guys, the knights are the way to go, and I'm going to do my best to teach you guys. Right now I have it all on my CC. Personally, like, Death Chains, right? A lot of people claim Death Chains is one of the best AoEs in the game, in that Shadow Knights are lucky to have it because it's an instant cast, there's no cooldown to it, it's a pretty strong AoE. But is it? Death Chains is a skill you get at level 36. So how much power am I really getting if I put points into Death Chains compared to Dragon Guards? How much power am I getting if, like, for example, here, Manic Roar. How much is Manic Roar going to give me? And I know there's a cooldown attached to that, so the total DPS is going to be, like, but how much of an impact is that going to make? So we're going to try and test a lot of things. We're going to try and really min-max things. We're going to try and do it on multiple accounts. So, I've got people that are curious, people that want to learn as well. And those people are going to be sitting there helping me, like, Gokstar on his Necros helping. I've got Henry Sturgis on his Vampire and Paladin. I've got my Paladin that will be doing tests. Shadow Knight over here. We've got warriors that are willing to help out. So, in general, we're going to try and play with a lot of the stats. We're going to try and see what stats are what. I'm lucky to have a really good network of players. Players that I can share my pets with. Let's hope not many players find this channel. No. Let's hope people do find this channel. We want to grow the community, and if this is the way to grow the community, this would be a great way to grow. Like, teach everyone. Let everyone have a good, enjoyable game experience. But yeah, moving forward, that's kind of the trajectory I want to take. I don't know when the next video will be, like, in regards to sort of skills and what we're going to be doing. It might be a month from now. There's lots of tests that we're trying to take, and lots of things we're trying to see. Maybe we're entirely wrong. Maybe everyone's already min-maxing it the right way, But yeah, that's the plan. We're gonna try and test a bunch of things. I'm gonna be sharing pets with people, so, like, you'll see Wukong on other people's. Like, you'll see, like, right now I don't have my pets, but again, I trust certain people, so I can give them out. So people have my Ruby, people have my Wukong. So we'll be trying, for example, my Ruby and Wukong on a Necro. We'll be trying it on my Shadow Knight. We'll be trying it on, like, on a different class, where we're kind of all equal in power, and we're trying to see what certain pets do. So one of the things I want to try and spot is how much damage does 1k pet attack actually give you. So let's say my Ruby was 10k compared to 9k, right? As a max. How much is that actually in DPS? Because all the other variables will stay the same. Like, my Earth attack is still going to be 87. My damage and crit's going to all be the same. So we're going to try and do a bunch of that. And we'll see what happens. Like, there's a lot of fun things to come, hopefully. I should answer some questions. I think there's no way to bring Eudemons and gear from a server to do it. No, there is. So yeah, when you move your account over, it's 5,400 EPs. It moves over your bank, your Eudemon bank. All that remains is your mannequins. So all your mannequins will stay on the other server. You can only move one account at a time, and each account will be 5,400. So personally, I will be moving 1, 2, and then my main account. So you're looking at like 15,000 EPs to move over, like, a bulk of accounts for me. Which is actually something I probably should start saving for. That's a big transfer. But yeah, it was lovely talking to you guys. I will be doing a Sacred Field video in like 10 minutes. Where we'll just be DPSing Sacred Field, like, trying to win some EPs. I wanted to show people how to move EPs over, because I think it's a question that's asked a lot. by the community, and there's a weird stigma around it. There's a lot of players trying to profit over it, or scam players over it. Like, they'll be like, oh, I'll move your EPs. You give me 1,000 EPs. You give me 1,300 or 500 EPs, and I'll give you 1,000 on the other server. It's like, well, you're losing 500 EPs every time you try and move EPs over. So it's there's no point you losing when, you know, other people are gaining profit off you. So yeah, don't get used. You know, if they have a way, chances are there is a way for you. And this is like, I have spoken to the GMs regarding this, and they've said moving EPs is totally fine. So you can do this method. There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, let's do one last thing for this video before I do tune out. We're gonna go down to 2,999 EPs, but I'm gonna buy one key. So if we go to here, go into item. So the real use for this is actually, where is it? Is it in forging? Oh wait, let's just do this. Let's get one of those crystals out. Fun. Because we have so many crystals, I want to use one skin roll. So we're gonna buy it. We're gonna buy just the one. We're not gonna overdo it, guys. It's very, very easy overdoing it. So we're going to do one spin. And we're going to hope we hit the golden Wukong, because that's what we want. Alright, cool. Move that there. Oh wait, do we have to refresh it? Because we now have the key. Sweet. Move that there. Come on, give us the golden Wukong. We got this, which is... Alright, we actually made EPs from that, guys. So we got the Dragon Stone for Dragon Danos. That is the golden Dragon Danos as well. So what you do with that is you go to cross-server trade, you put that in the trade pile, stick it up, 2,500 EPs, register, gone. And we've just made 1,000 EPs. So we gambled, we made 1,000 EPs. You know, we're all good. But that was one for the video. So we're all good there. Gox is already screaming, don't gamble! Alright, man. Peace out, guys.